So what I really like in this passage, and I'm just jumping over, Tammy will do another part, is disciples of the world. So we're supposed to be the light in the darkness. We can shine bright because of Christ's light in us. And also the salt. Salt was to keep us, to keep things from rotting and to preserve it, and then we can be the salt of the earth.
Okay, so what do we not like or not understand about this passage? Okay, so everybody's hands should be raised because this is entirely different than what we know as human beings to be true. This would have probably shocked his first listeners, and it should shock us. It's not what we're used to. Everything on earth is how much money you have, how much power you have, the status that you have, how talented you are, what country you were born. If you were born in privilege, this is entirely different. God cares about blessing the poor in spirit and giving them the kingdom of heaven. He cares about those who mourn and wants to comfort them. He cares about those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. He wants to satisfy their hearts. He cares about the gentle and the peacemakers and those who suffer for their faith. And as a matter of fact, it says theirs will be the kingdom of God. So they might lose all they have here and their lives, but they'll gain the kingdom of heaven. And same for the righteousness of the Pharisees. The Pharisees set the bar for human righteousness. Everybody wanted to attain to that. God is saying it has to exceed that. Righteousness goes far beyond what humans can accomplish. God's righteousness is holy and pure and is something that we can't even attain to on our own. And so this chapter should stump us, and it should cause us to want to sink more deeply into it so that we can learn the heart of God and desire his kingdom. Okay, so what does this passage say about God?
I think God is so amazing, and it's awe-inspiring when you think about that the law will not pass away, because at the end he is the Word and he is the creator, and heaven, everything is held together. So when you look at even the passages that the lamp gives the light, and that your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. The world is always about us. Down here, it's about us. But God's economy, it's about him, and it's to glorify him, and he deserves all the glory.
Okay, so what does this passage say about man?
Man often thinks we're God and we can create things, but we can't. So when we see that not one iota will be abolished from the law, and that God is the creator of everything, we always think we can be God. We want to take his place, but we can't. And even when we try to take away the smallest letter of his passage, it still is going to stand. The world will go away, it's still going to stand, because God is the Word. He created it. He will hold it together. And even if people say, oh, there is no God, or people, I don't believe in him, he's still there. He's still there, and he still died for them.
How can we apply this to us?
I would say if we start even in the words what he says, blessed are the poor in spirit, and then blessed are those who mourn will be comforted. It's all of these things are different. They can only be done in the power of the Spirit of God, because it's from God's economy, it's through his power, it's for his glory. And these things are hard, but he gives us and he equips us by his Spirit to do that. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of the righteousness. And I'm thinking about all these brothers and sisters we have who are persecuted right now. And that's how we apply it. It's hard, but it's not impossible, because it's through him, with his power, with his grace, and by his Spirit.
Okay, and the last question is, who are you going to tell?
I think when we read through, just even things come to my mind, like, blessed are those who mourn, who will be comforted. And I'm thinking of my friend who just lost a loved one. Or I'm thinking of people who are persecuted or who are poor, and they might need our mercy and help. And I think we tell others about this so they can do that too, not in their strength, but through God. And we tell others that they can be the light, they can be the salt of the earth, and that it's exciting. This is exciting. It's hard teaching, and as Tammy said, it changes our hearts, it changes our minds, but it's all for His glory.